I'll give a quick update on the Fartcoin trade because this is one I've been talking about in quite a lot of detail in my previous streams. So this has played out like basically perfectly. So I initially said that we had a weekly demand here, and that, you know, I'd had a long entry set there, but I said there was something when I set that entry. My first comment was there was something on this that reminded me of PopCat, but I needed to go and look at PopCat because I couldn't remember exactly what. So then eventually, a couple of days later, I did another update saying I had looked at PopCat. So this is the weekly on PopCat, and then this is the 12-hour on PopCat. So let me just zoom in and show you the 12-hour. And you can see like they're not identical, but there are similarities in these structures. And we were talking about PopCat, which is why I was familiar with it when it was in this structure, and people were asking me to long, and I was saying I just didn't like it. But you can see here we had a grind up and then a sort of a decent drop, but it still picked up to support. Then a final move before that was the top. And I think I was just seeing that similarity here, that we'd had a grind up, we'd had what looked like a try to break down, but then this final kind of push before the drop. And so I was looking, so I think, you know, at this point in time when we had the trend line, I was seeing a lot of other influencers and people talking about, oh, let's do the trend line break. So I set an alert on the trend line break. But again, in my update, I was saying be wary because we could reject this daily supply, and I was going to set a possible short entry on that daily supply. And again, that kind of is similar to what happened on PopCat. So this dropped down, I'm not sure exactly where. I think I was looking more at this level. You know, it kind of broke up this trend line and then rejected off, well, I don't know if that was a 2-week supply at the time, although it is now, rejected off that, made a lower low. It did push back higher. So, you know, it is possible this is going to pick up support, you know, if it was to do identically what PopCat did and push again. But at this point in time, you know, that was a very solid short entry. It was a risk it would run through some more of the stops up there, but it didn't actually. It was a very clean entry off that daily supply. Similarly on PopCat, actually, you see I showed the weekly as well, because you can actually see a very similar structure in the high time frame, you know, that it's got this grind up, didn't really have the drop so much, but then pushed up, and then we had that 12-hour consolidation, and now in this case it's also come all the way back through. So you can see even the high time frame fractal is quite similar to the lower time frame fractal on it. But yeah, that was an interesting observation there, and just was following that trade through so people could see what the kind of things I'm looking for.